Chessman Dan here, day 5 of playing chess every day until I beat Magnus Carlsen. In chess? No, with a 2x4. Regardless, in the previous video, I explained my plans in terms of learning openings. As white, I plan to stick with the London system, and as black, I plan on playing as the King's Indian Defense. Therefore, we'll be covering my first ever attempt of using the King's Indian Defense in a live rapid 10-minute game. Recap for today's training: I played quite a few games. I think I only lost 2. I may have played upwards of 6 games. I didn't count. I jumped from a 318 to 354 elo. Regardless, even the losses, I will say, was still wins in my book due to the rating system, upon reviewing my games, it seems that I've been playing better than I have the previous other games. At least that's what chess.com's review system tells me. So a win's a win. Regardless of the win or loss, I definitely do my best to study each move and see where I'm going wrong. Regardless, we're going to be playing the King's Indian Defense. This is going to be very rough, and you're going to see how. So my opponent starts with the King's pawn to e4. I immediately kick off to pawn d6. The reason for that is my idea is with the moment I kick out my knight, the pawn will be able to defend it. He goes bishop c4. I go knight f6, and then he responds with knight f3. Then I go pawn g6. Then he pushes to pawn e5. And based on the research I've done thus far on the King's Indian, the d pawn is always good the moment I see pawn e4. I'm able to defend my knight. He takes. I castle. Here, in terms of the rating system, I am losing. In my head, I'm trying to keep King's Indian. I'm trying to put my bishop out and maintain the structure of the King's Indian Defense. However, I would not say that I am adept to playing the London system. However, with the London system, I have more of an understanding. And this being my first game using the King's Indian Defense, there were better moves I was overlooking for the fact that I just wanted to stick with the memorized openings. I move the queen out. Big move. Knight to h6. 8. He castles. We keep moving. If you look at the analyst board, it's up 3.7. Obviously, during a live game, no one really knows their true analysis, so I try not to get hung up. However, you could tell my opponent is definitely, and as I'm playing this, I feel very uncomfortable. He pushes his bishop back to b3. I move my queen out to d7. Excuse me, not d7. f5. Brings out his knight. I bring out my knight. He moves his bishop to the open e file. Now he's applying immense pressure on my pawn, and I'm not doing so good. I push my pawn out to try to block the bishop. He leaves his hanging knight. So obviously I tug. Luckily, I'm slowly starting to pick up when pieces are hanging. If I wouldn't have taken that knight, he would have gone, he would have gone to pawn c6 or c5 and then check me and then take another rook. Not a good look. So I take. He puts out his pawn to push me. Here, would have made sense if I would have pushed my queen one more square over instead of having it to the g5, because that way it could have offered a queen exchange. Puts my rook there. Hanging pawn. Forces my king to move. Develops his bishop, or his pawn. So as we're moving forward, you're going to see I'm very close to losing. He takes my queen. I check. He takes my knight. I'm very close to getting checkmate. You're going to see what's going to happen. Moves. Targets my rook. I move my rook to the open e file. And you want to see the checkmate masterpiece? Boom! Back rank checkmate. Back rank checkmate. Let's do that again in slow motion. Prior to his move, he's up almost 13. He's close to starting a checkmate sequence. However, my opponent does not see the open A rank. He has an opportunity to stop it if he would have pushed that pawn out. Instead, like a gluttonous whore, he loses. Regardless, this was my first attempt at the King's Indian. I did not play well. However, my opponent blundered. See you tomorrow.